get today's episode started. So this is the very first episode of On the Road with Signing Agents with Dorie in Colorado. And you're in Denver, am I correct, Dorie?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Okay, so Dorie from Colorado, Denver. Let's get this show started. So why don't you just tell us about your day today, Dorie? Tell me about this question. How many signings did you do today?
6 signings today. I still have one to do.
She has 6 signings, one to do. When I say on the road with signing agents, I literally mean in between appointments. So this is absolutely amazing. So you're talking to a signing agent who's literally on the road in between appointments. So I don't want to take a ton of your time, Dorie, but I want to try to help some signing agents today, if that's okay with you. So let's just kind of start from the beginning, but I don't know how more amazing it is that we're hearing from a signing agent who's done 6 signings in one day, and she's taking a break, about to do her 7th signing. So this can't be more amazing. So Dorie, let's start from the beginning. I got my notes ready, and let's get going. So my first question, Dorie, is how long have you been a signing agent?
So I was commissioned last year in January, but I wasn't quite a signing agent until I knew what I was doing. So I had tried to get signings, and it took at least 3 months for me to get my very first signing.
So
because
let me just back up. Let me kind of back up. So you said you've had your commission for a year. So you've been a signing agent for a year, 9 months, 1 year. Okay, cool.
1 year, 1 month.
Okay, so she's been a signing agent for 1 year, 1 month. What was your background prior to being a signing agent?
I ran a preschool and childcare from my home.
This is crazy. So you were a preschool teacher, essentially, childcare day, which amazing, yes. By the way. I have a 19-month-old, so I give you guys so much because I'm like, oh my gosh, sometimes my little 19, I couldn't imagine having like 5 of them running around your house. So, but so you were a preschool teacher, and then you went to a signing agent. So there's essentially no background in mortgages, no background in being a signing agent, and now you're doing 6 signings today.
Yes.
In less than a year. I mean, I'm just blown away. So, but back to your first point, and so how long did it take to get your first signing? So you've been a notary for about a year and 1 month, so you were kind of getting into that, so kind of talk more about that.
Okay. Yeah, it took about 3 months for me, really. So I tried to sign up for some signing services, and just kind of waited to get a signing, and it took about 3 months before I got one.
Okay, so that, if I do the math right, that means you really got your first signing about 9 months ago, 10 months ago. So in about 10 months time, you went from your first signing to doing 7 signings in 1 day.
Yes.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, that trajectory is unbelievable. You know, so many new signing agents here are thinking themselves, you know, well, is it possible for me to go from 0 to 7 signings in a day? And to know that you literally have done that in less than a year, I think is super inspiring. And so thank you so much for jumping on and inspiring new signing agents of what's possible. So yeah, 10 months, you went from 0 to 7 signings in 1 day, and I think it's absolutely incredible. So if you give everybody maybe a more or less of how many signings, more or less, you've done in the past 10 months. How many signings do you think you're at?
I would say I'm pushing 300 at least.
So she went from being a preschool teacher to no background in this industry, to doing 300 closings in the past 10 months. Dorie, I just think that is absolutely incredible. I can't say what an inspiration you are to these new signing agents here. And speaking of which, any signing agents here have any specific questions? I'll try to get them answered by Dorie. You know, this is supposed to be an interview with Dorie. So if any tips, any questions you want, don't hesitate to comment. I see them on the screen right now, and I'll ask Dorie to answer because I don't know if Dorie sees them. But nonetheless, I just want to make sure people know this is as interactive as I can make it on the very first episode of On the Road with Signing Agents. Okay, so you talked about loosely, you got your first signing through a signing service. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then can you kind of talk about that process for a new signing agent, what that entails? So you say a signing service, how did you get that appointment? If you kind of go on that a little bit.
So they called me. It was on 123 Notary, I think. They had
Okay, cool.
Me.
So let's back up. So you put your name into Notary, 123 Notary, and so through that, somebody just found you because you lived near the appointment.
That's correct.
Okay, so some of these people are really new, so I'm trying to like really break it down. So I'll let you know.
By all means.
Okay, cool. So you put your name into 123 Notary, which is a signing agent database, and
Yes.
they found you, and so you got your first signing. Let's talk about that experience, if you don't mind.
I was so nervous. I didn't really feel like I knew what I was doing. But I persevered. And I know I oversigned and overstamped that I know I totally bombed that. I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking I bombed bad. Maybe it wasn't as bad, but I never heard from them.
We do something brand new. In full disclosure, signing agent Dorie is a loan signing system student. So I'm trying to highlight some of the newer signing agents. You know, I think if you've been in the business about a year is a new signing agent in my book, and your trajectory is just unbelievable. So proud of you. So so you got your first signing. Were your first signing pre-loan signing system or post-loan signing system?
Pre-loan signing system.
Okay, so you were super nervous. You didn't really have the training yet, but so which really, Brian, brings me to my next question. I mean, would you recommend to signing agents? You know, I don't want this to be a big commercial about the loan signing system, but you know, I want them to know that, you know, you did your first signing before you had quote unquote training, and then you had your other signings post that. Would you recommend people get some sort of training?
Absolutely, please do.
And I'm assuming you mean above and beyond the industry normal certification.
Yes.
Got it. Understood.
Even above and beyond NNA certification. Absolutely.
Know what you're doing. Education in general is what, you know, and I think a lot of signing agent courses bring value to people. I don't think it's just my course, but, you know, what I really wanted to hear from you is, you know, just that continuing education was really what made you not nervous to being as confident as you are today.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's great to hear, because I'm a big promoter of just education, period. Not just my course. I think everyone should always never stop learning. You know, I think education is the key for success in any industry, and especially ours. So let's talk about, you know, how many signings in the beginning were you doing directly through signing services, and then kind of now, where has your trajectory gone?
So in the beginning, it was 100% through signing services. I didn't know I could go escrow direct, actually, until I took your course, Mark.
Awesome.
And then, so I was trying to just wait for SnapDocs or 123 Notary to call me, and then I definitely am glad, because I got signings under my belt that were through signing services, kind of cutting my teeth, so to speak, so that when I was ready to go escrow direct, I didn't mess up so bad.
Oh, that's great advice. So, I mean, your kind of advice in which, you know, I usually stand beside, and, you know, I always tell people, you know, do whatever's best for you and your business, but excuse me. But you're kind of recommending, in your experience, that you enjoyed going the signing service route first, feeling comfortable, you know, for lack of a better word, kind of your practice field. And then once you felt really comfortable, then going the direct route was a move that you felt was best for your business.
Right. And I'm seeing your question.
Do you, no, it's okay. So do you recommend all signing agents to go direct and get direct business?
If I think once they are comfortable with loan signings, yes, you make more money when you go direct.
Well, let's talk about the benefits of going direct versus SS. So let's just assume they're comfortable, all that other stuff. I want to talk about, because like you said, you know, I think what was very enlightening about what you just said is you didn't even realize you could go direct.
No.
And so many signing agents were like, oh, only signing services are the only way to get business. And then obviously I'm always saying, no, it's not. You can go directly to escrow, title, etc. And so talk about some of the benefits of going directly to the escrow officer, bypassing the signing service, outside of the money. So, you know, let's talk about the money's better, obviously. But what else, in your opinion, do you enjoy about working directly with escrow and title?
Can you ask me one more time?
Yeah, no worries. So outside of the money being better for a direct business, what are some of the other things you enjoy about going direct versus working for signing services?
Oh, the personal relationship I have with the escrow officers, and just I love you know what? I really love marketing to
Yeah.
them and bringing them goodies. That's my favorite part. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about, also, I mean, do you print your own loan documents when you go direct?
Sometimes.
Okay, and then sometimes
If,
they print it for you?
yes,
Yeah, and then,
many
I mean,
times.
yeah, then you're not always running around to FedEx, you drop them off.
Yes.
Right.
And, or sometimes you're just doing the signings in office. So you don't even take documents with you.
That's awesome. No, those are things I'm trying to get you to talk about because I think there's a lot of people hear me say these things like, escrow prints documents, or if you do it in the office and you're just done, you walk out because made $150 in an hour, literally because you show up to the office, do a signing, and give the loan documents directly back to the escrow officer, title officer.
Yes.
Are those some of the great things you
Or
love? Okay.
it could also be $125 in a half an hour if you're quick.
That's right. I love it. Since you're literally on the road right now, is there any like funny signing agent stories or something from a funny signing or just something that you kind of chuckle with, you and your friends about, that kind of get
Yeah.
somebody who's new to kind of think like, oh my gosh, that's funny or whatnot.
So I started with the seller package at the seller's house, and he didn't realize he needed his wife to sign the documents. So he said, well, can we just go to her warehouse? This was a direct. And so I let the escrow officer know, hey, the second signer isn't here. We're going to her warehouse. So I said, oh, sure, why not? And the warehouse ended up being a dispensary grow house in
In
Colorado.
Colorado, I heard those are kind of everywhere these days.
So he was embarrassed and apologized profusely, but I said, you know what? Everybody needs to make money, so this is just how she does it.
Yeah, and I think that's
Anyway.
great. I mean, I think what I really heard there is like you kind of went above and beyond for your client. You went to one location and then you're like, shoot, she's not here. Well, I can definitely accommodate you. And I think that, some of those trademarks are what makes you a great signing agent, and some of the going above and beyond is what creates that loyalty for the escrow officer. And so I think that's a little good nugget here for newer signing agents is, if you just kind of go above and beyond, then you create loyalty. You know what I mean? That's perfect. I love it.
Getting dark.
I love that this is called Signing Agents on the Road, and you're literally on the road. So I think that is great. But yeah, so I think those are a good nugget to give, and I think that's kind of what makes you a great signing agent, by the way. And the lighting is completely okay. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Okay. So so we have a couple questions, if that's okay, Dorie.
Yes.
Dre Buckner asks, how do you work the schedule to fit all 7 signings in a day?
You start early. You do a few in-house, and you take some documents with you. You make sure that you're friends with your escrow officers, so they will print documents for you before the signing. So most of my signings today were escrow direct, actually. And
how much are you making per signing on that, if you don't mind telling everybody?
In Colorado, the average is $125 per signing.
And she did 6, 7 of them today. Like, you can do the math. To me, it's the best business no one's ever heard of. If you put the work behind it, you can be what you are. Dorie's getting this success in less than a year. I would say you're a new signing agent. I think that is unbelievably awesome. Another question. How long did you do both jobs before quitting the daycare?
So I quit my childcare a year before I was a signing agent because I didn't need the income. My husband makes plenty until my son went into boarding school. So he was eating up our savings pretty quickly, and he's actually our big Y, or my big Y, our big Y. And so his boarding school is very expensive, and that is why I bust my butt to get signings.
Dorie, I think that's an inspiring story, a motivating story. You basically went back to work and you said, I got to figure this out. Dorie, I never heard this really in-depth part of it. So like, I'm just honored that you've chosen me to be a small part of your journey and your family's journey. And man, I'm like, I have goosebumps. And so I'm so proud of you and the signing agent you are. And I know your business is going to be out of the roof in another year. So yeah, so I guess that says you're basically a stay-at-home mom or whatnot, and then you went back into work and you became a signing agent. It just shows that anyone could do this job, right? Would you kind of agree with that sentiment?
Yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
Joe, can you do direct? Can you go direct and do signings after hours? So what I think Joe was asking, Dorie, is how many of your signings are after like 5 o'clock?
I would say several, even Escrow Direct. That's when they need you because they can close their own loans in their office. And they also need you sometimes during the day in the office if they're really busy, usually at the end of the month or middle of the month this
So
time.
let me kind of get this back on track. So how many signings during the week would you say are like after 5 o'clock? One signing a day after 5, 2 signings a day?
2 or 3.
Okay.
After 5,
Perfect.
at
Okay,
least.
great answer. How long does it take you to do a signing for a signing service and direct? Is there a difference?
I went direct as soon as I was comfortable and knew I could.
No. The question is the signing package different if an escrow officer gives it to you or a signing service?
The only difference is maybe closing instructions. So signing services have specific closing instructions for them, and sometimes they want scan backs.
But the loan doc themselves are basically the same.
They're the same.
Exactly. Perfect. Okay. Michelle Baker, how do I get started? You take the loan signing system. That's how you get started.
I turn on this other light.
No, you look great. Cheryl asked, how often do you package for EOs? Great question. How often do you package for escrow officers?
How long did I what?
How long do you package loan docs for escrow officers?
So yes, it's a little bit different. They call it cleaning out documents, or they want their own. So yes, sort of.
Okay, so without getting into the trees on that, how about this?
Sure.
What percentage of your signings direct do you package, clean up, whatever that is?
So I would say a small percentage because some escrow officers don't want you to do that.
Cool. But do you think that it's a good skill set to have
Yes.
to let them know you can do it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, what I think, which is a really good point, it's a great question who asked it, Cheryl, is, packaging loan docs, cleaning up loan docs, splitting loan docs. Everyone kind of has their terminology for the same thing. But it's a great question, Cheryl, because I think that Dorie hit it on the head as far as it's a good kind of marketing thing to have, even though people don't necessarily want it all the time, just to be able to say you offer it and you actually know what it is. Do you think that's a benefit to your overall marketing?
Yes.
Got it. Perfect. Okay. That's great. Anything else? Okay. So Nettie, I'm going to get to that in a moment. Nettie, okay, I'm going to answer. Nettie asked a question. And her question is, what is your biggest tip for new signing agents?
So my biggest tip for new signing agents is be patient with yourself.
It's good.
Don't kick yourself so hard that you're getting down on yourself for making a mistake, because they do happen.
It's good.
And be patient. The work will come. It will happen.
It's great. That's good. I love that piece of advice. So it's kind of speaking about the same thing. Now that you're looking back on your signings, what is something that you thought was a big deal back then? You look back like, wow, I should not even it wasn't as big as a deal as I made in my head. You see what I'm trying to ask here? Like, you looking back, you're like, what was that about?
Well, mistakes are still big deals to me, but they usually signing services and escrow officers will let you fix them. So it's not the end of the world if you miss a stamp, as long as you're willing to fix it.
That's great. No, that's great. That's great. Because I think a lot of new signing agents are petrified of messing up, quote unquote. But it's good to hear from you that it's actually not as bad as they make it out to be, because as long as you fix it and have accountability, you're good to go.
Yes.
Oh, man, that's a great piece of advice. Okay. So I know you're probably headed to your next signing, so there's a few more minutes here. Thank you again, Dorie. This has been awesome.
Of course.
So,
my pleasure.
would you, so I asked this question because I get a lot of emails from signing agents saying, oh, signing agent marketing isn't a thing. Signing agents can't go market their business. So what would you say to a new signing agent or veteran signing agent? Because I get a lot of emails from veteran signing agents say, Mark, you talk about signing agent marketing, you can't go direct, you can't market your business to escrow or real estate agents. Let me ask you a question. Is signing agent marketing a thing? And do you constantly market yourself, and how?
Yes, I do, and it is a thing. And some companies just have that hard receptionist that won't let you in.
Right.
I was fortunate that actually I recommend hitting up the small title agencies first.
Good piece of advice. This is why we do the interviews. So, but at the end of the day, I want you to speak from the standpoint of you can get into title companies.
Yes.
You can get into real estate agents or loan officers. And like, this is a real signing agent who is saying this, because sometimes people see me and they're like, oh, Mark, well, of course you can say whatever you want to sell a course. And I'm like, no, I really try to help as many people as I can. I don't want this to be a commercial about loan signing system, but the marketing techniques you learned and you apply them, you do get the business out there with direct. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Awesome. So kind of wrapping up here, what I think is amazing about this interview is you went from a preschool teacher to a stay-at-home mom to doing $700-800 in one day. Do you feel that anybody could do this business?
I do. As long as you have the drive, you can do it.
So, from the standpoint that you didn't have a background in mortgage and you didn't have a background in being a real estate agent and you didn't have a background in finance. Literally you came from a preschool daycare world to stay-at-home mom to now making $800 in a day. Literally in your opinion, and I'm asking this so you can maybe inspire some other people, who may be watching right now, like, I can't fathom making $800 in one day. Do you believe that, like any walk of life, this is a business that you can learn from the ground up?
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly believe that, and because I'm living it.
That's awesome. Where do you see your business in the next 6 to 12 months?
So I'm going to the conference to learn how to be a signing service, even though I'm not quite there yet. I just kind of want to have that.
What conference are you going to?
Oh, the loan signing system conference in San Diego. I'm so excited.
And I'm excited to meet you there. It's going to be amazing. We're almost sold out, by the way, so it's going to be awesome. But yes, okay. So 6 to 12 months, we are teaching how to be a signing agent, signing service. So you see yourself being a signing service in the next 6 to 12 months?
Maybe 12, but in 6 to 12, also making. I want to make $10,000 a day.
A month?
A month.
A day. I was like, there's not enough time in the day to do $10,000, but I love the
Why not?
big mentality. That's the loan signing system way for sure. Well, no, and that's being a 6-figure signing agent, and what I want to encourage people is, a lot of people say, Mark, I have the 6-figure signing agent course, as which I believe you got. A lot of people say, oh, Mark, signing agents can't be 6 figures, or, but the fact that you truly believe that you're going to be a 6-figure signing agent because, shoot, you're making $800 a day, more or less. What would you say to a signing agent who says, I don't believe you can make 6 figures a year in the signing agent industry?
I would say you want to find some belief in yourself, because you can. You
can. I agree. So kind of on our way out, if there are any other questions. So Danielle asked, do you market yourself to escrow offices only, or, this is a great question, do you focus on escrow officers, or do you focus on realtors and lenders? How kind of what is your marketing path? Great question, Danielle.
So I used to focus directly on escrow officers until I listened to another conference from the previous year that led me to believe I should talk to lenders and realtors. And so I feel more comfortable talking to lenders, and so that's kind of the avenue I've taken.
That's great.
And I'll get the courage up for the realtors. I don't know. I don't relate to them as well.
Danielle, that was a great question. And so I think the little nugget there is she's actually speaking about last year's loan signing system conference videos. But you know, what I think she's alluding to is, you know, everybody, new signing agents always think, I got to go escrow only. But she's letting you know that she's actually going to lenders, and then through the lenders, she's getting to the escrow officers, it sounds like. I don't want to put any words in your mouth.
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I got two new escrow officers from a lender friend that
is so awesome. And, you know, like I said, you know, a lot of people, new signing agents, you know, watching this video are thinking, you know, I only want to market to escrow officers. You would say market other places as well.
Absolutely.
Good. And a quick little plug, if I may, the loan signing system teaches you how to market to escrow, loan officers, real estate agents. Would you say that is where you got some of your techniques?
That's where I got all of my techniques.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm so honored that I'm a small part of your signing agent journey. So in conclusion, it's getting dark in Colorado. You probably need to go to your next one.
I do.
So last question. Any words of encouragement for current signing agents, veteran signing agents, you know, signing agents who are only, you know, working for signing service? Any words of encouragement you can leave on the way to your next signing to cap off your $800 day? What would those words be?
I would say, believe in yourself, go out there and get yourself some business, market, make some friends. Make some friends.
I love it. Well, this is amazing. So that concludes the very first episode of On the Road with Signing Agents and Signing Agent Dorie, folks. Literally on the road, pausing at a Starbucks before she goes. It's getting dark in Colorado. So please be safe, drive safe. Dorie, thank you. I'm sure you inspired some signing agents here. So I look forward to seeing you at the Loan Signing System Conference. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to give you a huge hug. And I will see you in a few months. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Right, bye, Mark. Bye.
So that concludes the very first episode of On the Road with Signing Agents. I cannot be more honored and blessed that she chose to come with us. If you have any questions for me, please ask right now. I mean, I think what I took away from this is, you know, Dorie went from being a preschool owner to a stay-at-home mom to doing 1 signing in 3 months to doing 8 signings in 1 day. She's going to clear maybe $800 to $1,000. I hope that inspired you. It inspired me. I didn't realize that she was doing this to send her little one to a private school. So I'm just honored. So if you're not a loan signing system student, I mean, please don't hesitate to email me. Please don't hesitate to Facebook me. Call me, 619-878-3431.